I didn't start writing songs until I was 19 or 20 years old.
So what? That's was the end of the '80s, and well, you were 6 or 7 back then. When did you start writing your own songs? Do you still recall your first proper song?
I didn't start writing songs until I was 19 or 20 years old, and that's also the time when I first picked up the guitar. So
How come so late then?
it's just the way it went down. I didn't, I think my dad showed me a couple of chords on the guitar when I was 15 or 16. I just didn't really, I wasn't that interested in it. I was doing high school and I was in choir, so I was singing. I just didn't really have anything to say. I wasn't writing poetry. Just wasn't what was happening for me. And it wasn't until I moved away from home and I moved to San Francisco, and that's when I started writing. Something shifted. My parents got a divorce, kind of things got complicated in my life, and all of a sudden I needed an outlet, and that outlet became writing songs.
Writing songs or writing lyrics?
Both. They happened together.
Yeah? And do you still recall the first song, maybe?
Did I record the first song?
Do you recall your first proper song?
Yeah, I totally do. Yeah.
Do you want to share it?
Oh wow. It's on the very first recording that I did, which is called Forest Parade. I think you can download it on the internet.
So what's the song called?
I think the first one, if I'm remembering correctly, is called The Snow. Yeah, it's called The Snow.
So what's it about?
It's about being pretty bummed out and living in San Francisco. And I had a boyfriend who broke up with me, and he lived in Colorado. So I went out to Colorado, and he totally broke my heart. And I started writing the song when I was in Colorado. And it was really snowy there, and that's where the snow thing came in. Yeah, it's pretty much just about being completely bummed out and sad and heartbroken. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, it's nice to have the ability to write something about, maybe a bad period, and then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the first song, 2003. I think, the self-released album Forest Parade was in 2003.
Yeah.
So you were 20 years old then. But then within 2 years you released two albums. So then you actually started writing a lot of songs, I think.
I think I have written a number of songs, yeah.
But how come so many songs within that time frame?
Oh, well, it wasn't quite that fast. Well, maybe it was. Let me think. What year? To Be Still wasn't released until 2009.
No, I know, but if I look, your self-released albums, I don't know if
it was Forest Parade, and then The Pirate's Gospel was recorded a couple of months, maybe 6 months after Forest Parade was. And the two records do feel pretty different. Something definitely happened between those records with me. I went traveling and kind of gathered this strength I had not known about before, and that's what The Pirate's Gospel was. So there were just those two records, and I was just writing tons of songs, and it was very new to me. Writing songs was very, very new. And Forest Parade was recorded a couple of months since I learned how to play guitar. Played really shitty on the guitar and recorded it, basically. And it was just a particularly difficult period of my life. Living in San Francisco was really not fun for me. And with The Pirate's Gospel, I wrote a lot of those songs while I was traveling around Europe, and then I moved back home. I moved to Nevada City, and that's when I recorded that record and started kind of hand-making copies and moved to Portland. But that record wasn't properly released until 2006. So there were a couple of years there where I was just playing those songs and had maybe written some of the ones that ended up going on To Be Still. But
you were saying the first recording of The Pirate's Gospel was 6 months after you did the Forest Parade, and you were saying that in that period you found out that you had the strength. What happened? What did you find out? What?
I was particularly run down while I was living in San Francisco. I was going to college there. Just nothing felt right. I was living in a house with like 5 other girls, and it was just insane. And I went traveling. I went overseas by myself with my guitar, and a lot became clear for me. It was the first time I had ever done anything like that. It was like a journey of solitude and a journey of just like traveling by myself, and that just had a lot of impact on me. Even though only a couple of months had passed, all of a sudden with the songs on the Pirates Gospel, I don't know if you've heard Forest Parade, but the difference in my voice, it's apparent. On the first record, I'm very timid. I just hadn't really found my voice yet. And on the Pirates Gospel, you can hear it developing. And through all of the records, I think in ways my voice has kind of developed and changed. And I think that it's just kind of getting to know it better.